This is, I believe, it's our 5th episode. So, welcome again. We're trying new things. Hopefully, you guys are able to see everything going on. You know, we're trying a new portrait mode. We're trying it with our phones because I want to make sure to, once everything is back, you know, to some sort of normalcy. Of course, always being protected with our masks, like you always should be. You know, bring you the news live. So want to make sure to test it out with my phone. So that's what we're doing today. Hopefully everything is well on your end. And today I am drinking some, I feel like I always tell you this, but I love me some ginseng tea. Ginger is amazing. So definitely try it out. I'll put a little bit of turmeric. I'm telling you, Indians knew what they were doing when they found turmeric. So definitely great tea. So cheers. So let's dive in today. Today we are talking about various things, but let's start off with the census data. The deadline is fastly approaching. So we're starting off with asking you for a call to action right off the bat. We want you guys to actually call your senators, this could apply for everybody throughout the United States, but specifically speaking to my Georgia peeps, definitely call Senator Loeffler and Senator David Perdue to make sure that we have extended deadline. There's currently a bipartisan bill on Capitol Hill in order to make sure we extend the deadline. And this is very necessary because the census determines a lot of our structure and infrastructure in our communities. First off, you know, we want to make sure that we have enough for our school as well as for healthcare, as we have seen during this pandemic. That is very necessary for us to have the necessary PPE in order for our healthcare officials to be able to do their job. And just a good fact for you to know, a lot of the allocation that goes into the actual elements as well as instruments that are given to these hospitals comes from the census. And what happened, you know, like what the data that they have from 2010 is what they're using to allocate the PPE as well as the funding for all the United States, which is, you know, shows you how important it is for us to be counted. You know, there's too much to lose to be undercounted. So it's very important for you to, make sure you fill out your census, tell your friends, tell your family members. So, you know, one per house. So you can definitely fill that out for you and your family members. We always give you the link at the end of the live stream. You know, you will see it in the comment section. So make sure to click the link for filling out the census. It's very important. We want to make sure that with this bipartisan act that it passes, you know, that it gets extended to October 31st. So that gives them a good amount of weeks because, you know, overall the census data, you might actually receive a knock on your door in order to have one of their representatives help you fill it out. You might have that in the coming weeks, but we want to make sure that we give everybody with everything that is going on enough time to fill out their census form. So make sure to call them. And once again, call them, your senators, and tell them to vote yes for this bipartisan bill in order to extend the deadline. And now let's jump into our one of the topics that I think is definitely going to be an elephant in the room that we have to address. What is happening in South Georgia with the Irwin Detention Center. We have been getting reports specifically from we've seen that it has made national news, unfortunately, that Georgia's in the spotlight specifically because of the Irwin Detention Center. Dawn Wooten, you know, very courageous black women from actually came out as a whistleblower. She was a nurse there and came out and reported, alleged and claim that there not only is there a complete disregard of protection of inmates, or for their just well-being when it comes to COVID-19, but also a complete disregard to how they want to go about with their hysterectomies, which, if you don't know, that is a removal of the uterus, and that has been happening to a lot of them without them even knowing that they were getting that done. So we want to make sure that we bring attention to you, that this is going on. We hope that that the congressional investigation that is currently happening bears fruit, because we cannot allow this to happen. These are all, we're very, we will make sure to put Dawn and, Ms. Wooten in our, for her to be protected. We want to make sure that she definitely feels that she is a hero in our eyes for coming out. This is something that we must not allow to happen here. And our friends over at Project South actually have been saying that this is not something that is new. Unfortunately, they have reported since 2017 that there's been multiple abuses of power. So we want to make sure to bring you this news. It's very saddening, that's why I'm talking to you like this. But I think that it would be disingenuous, and just I wouldn't feel right without bringing you these news. Please make sure to call your representatives. Let them know that you are not okay with this. That you fully support this investigation. It's sad that that these immigrants are being treated like this in our state. So we must not allow this. And our friends over at Project South, specifically Legal Director Shashahani, actually has said that this is unfortunately not an individual thing, but we're talking about the whole entire system. So they're calling for the complete shutdown, because unfortunately this has been going on throughout the years with just complete disregard or disrespect of the immigrants that are detained there. So there must be some sense of dignity. We can continue doing this and be surprised when something continues happening, and so that's why I felt the need and responsibility to bring you this news, so you are in the know. Because with everything going on, I'm sure that it might have flown over your radar, or that you might have not known. So I wanted to make sure that you knew what was going on. So now to more less heavy news. There's actually a win. I think that now let's go focus on the wins of the week. Last week there was UGA was in the spotlight, specifically on Twitter, as well as throughout social media, because of the fact that they had decided to not allow in-person voting at the Tate Center. However, they wanted to continue having football games. So various students brought, attention to the fact that, okay, well, if we can have football, we can have voting. So at the beginning, they didn't want to cave in. They said like, no, we'll make sure to give you buses to the voting locations outside of campus, and just giving us the runaround. But we're happy to report that a lot of our connects as well as contacts in the campus let us know that finally the campus director said yes, that they will be able to vote in the basketball center of the school. So there will be more than enough space, as well as social distancing, so you are able to vote safely, because that is exactly what we want. We want to make sure that we are able to exercise our rights, but also doing it safely, because we don't want to make sure that we put anybody at risk. So that was a great win, and we're very happy that was able to be done. So if you're a UGA student, you will be able to vote on campus. Make sure you check in your registration to make sure that you know where to go and that your ducks are in a row. We always provide as well in our comments a link for you to register to vote, as well as to check your registration, because we know that unfortunately a lot of voters have been kicked out of the voting rolls because of multiple different reasons. So we want to make sure that you have access to, when you do go to vote, that it is you don't have no problems and it's a smooth sail. So that was a great win. So congratulations to the organizers in UGA. And yesterday, as you may have seen from our social media, we actually had celebrated the National Voter Registration Day. I'm sure you probably saw it all throughout social media. If you were in social media, you probably saw it. Some of my friends were like, oh my God, I feel like I couldn't escape it. But that's the point. We need you to vote. We need you to make sure that everything is good to go, to where you're making your plan ahead. Go with your best friend, go with your mother, go with your coworkers, maybe in your lunch break, to make sure that you guys go voting. Early voting is actually coming up rather soon, so we'll keep you updated when that starts here in Georgia, as well as asking for your absentee ballot. That is another one that is coming up rather quickly. We want to make sure that we give the postal office, the postal service, more than enough time for you to get your absentee ballot, as well as deliver it to where they're counted for this election. It's very important that we make our voices be heard. This is an extremely important election, as we have seen in the last couple of weeks, and honestly the last 3 years. So we want to make sure that we give you more than enough time to make sure that your voices are being heard. Please make sure, let us know some feedback as to what you liked from the National Voter Registration Day. Was there something that you felt like was a little confusing, that you wish you had some explanation for? Please make sure you comment below what you want clarification on. It should take only about 2 minutes to register to vote and 30 seconds to actually check if you're ready to register. So there's no excuse. I know that we like to do our thing fast, so I want to make sure we make it extremely accessible and extremely easy for you. So please let us know, comment below, hit me up through the DMs, or through Georgia Shift, any Georgia Shift social media. We'll make sure to make it open for y'all, so you're able to message us if you have any questions. Please don't feel that any questions are dumb questions. Every question is valid, especially when it comes to dealing with everything going on in the pandemic. And finally, we're asking y'all to, like we always say, to register online. It is extremely easy if you want to vote in person, but also if you want to request your absentee ballot online, that all those links will be put below. So make sure that you let us know. We'll make sure to keep you updated. Hopefully you guys like this new setup. We're just trying new things. We want to make sure that we're experimenting, as well as getting feedback from our audience. So hopefully everything went well. And as always, check us out next week for another episode of Tea Time with Brian. And I want to hear from you. Let us know, is there topics that you want me to dive in more? Is there some topics that you want to see? Is there a location, maybe that you want me to take my phone with me when I go vote? I think that could be a good outlook of how everything is going, specifically with the pandemic, and this being uncharted waters as to how we're dealing with it. So please let me know what you would like to see. So thank you again for joining me, and we'll see you next week, same time. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your week.